Cardinals Corner from Arizona Sports.
Cardinals Corner from Arizona Sports with Tyler Drake and Lauren Koval.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Cardinals Corner, and it is finally week 1 in the NFL. We have some real football to preview here, and as always, I am joined by the lovely and talented Tyler Drake, who is out at Cardinals HQ today. Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. That's a heck of an intro right there.
Well, it's
lovely and talented.
It's week 1 of the season. Someone's got to be propping you up, and it's going to be me.
Yeah. Really happy to finally be in the week 1. I feel like Monday was kind of like that fake, we're here, we're at practice, but it doesn't really count for week 1, even though it's a bonus day. But now it's like injury reports out. We are officially that much closer. So I think we probably should just start there because there's not really much to talk about when it comes to an injury report.
Not of people who are actually on the injury report. I mean, we can talk about Walter Nolan, who's not on the injury report because he starts the season out for 4 weeks. But of the actual injury report, nothing to report, dare I say?
Yeah, I mean, really, that's a good way to use that. I like that. I like that terminology. But yeah, Will Hernandez with the knee, limited. John Gaines with the thumb, full. And that's it for the Cardinals. So that alone, you're starting off the season on the right foot when you have very limited, really didn't have to probably put John Gaines on there, if I'm being honest, but good to see a little more detail there. It looks like he's working his way back. He's going to be the backup guy there, I think, at center and really along the interior. So good news there. But yes, week 1 finally. And the fact that, Walter Nolan, B.J. Ojulari, Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones, those are some of the guys, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Starley Thomas, those guys, clearly not on the injury report. They're either on the PUP or they're not playing this year or on the IR. So definitely names to watch there. Gannon talked a little bit about them today and said he likes where they're progressing, but we won't really see them hit the field until at least week probably 5 or longer when they can get back into the practice window and it opens up. So something to watch still there, but for the players on the field, good news. And we got to talk to Kyler today. And one thing that really stood out about that conversation was just him talking about Marvin Harrison, day and night difference from this time last year. I think we all knew that was trending that way, but to hear him say that and just talking really confidently about where their connection has grown, chemistry, all that, and was asked, yes, what do you need to do this year offensively? Be consistent. And I think every single person who is a Cardinals fan can agree with that. And I'm glad Kyler said it right away. Be consistent as a whole, not just as a whole, but that's on him too. He's got to be he's got to have a totality. He's got to have a full season of getting work done on a consistent basis. Haven't seen that in a while. So that's really from the reporting at training facility. Those are the main takeaways from today's action.
And it's not the expletive-ridden presser that Kyler Murray did give today. And not even, I think when you see that reported out there on social media, you lean towards him being really amped up or really fired up or almost upset. No, Kyler is notoriously sort of a casual cusser, if you will. He throws it in when I'm cutting audio for the show on these days and I'm going through it. It's almost like I go right past it because I just don't think about it. And I'm like, oh, crap. No. We got to go back to that. So his expletives were not in regards to anything shaping out poorly for this team or him being worried about anything. He was just casually talking about the season as a whole. He also, I think it was key to mention, does not have a relationship with Spencer Rattler because even though they followed a similar trajectory in college, even attending some of the same universities and him being on that Heisman watch right after Kyler and him talking about, no, I don't really know Spencer. I don't really know what to expect from him. He seems like a great guy. And now we for sure know for the past few weeks that Spencer Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback for the Saints and see what they can do. I think that now brings us to who do you have your eyes on this week 1 matchup?
Yeah. Well, a little bit more on Spencer. We talked to Rollis on Tuesday and he spoke really highly of him and said he's been impressed what he's put on tape. It's going to be very interesting because I think a lot of fans are expecting a hefty Cardinals win, but there was a little bit before we get in. I know you asked me this question before we get into that. Jonathan Gannon had a great quote about Kellen Moore today, and it had me going back and looking through some of their battles when Kellen Moore was OC in Dallas, Jonathan Gannon being the DC in Philly, 21-22. And I will say this, there is a talent discrepancy between the Cardinals and the Saints. The Cardinals win that battle left and right. But what you see Kellen Moore and what he put on tape against Gannon's defense, 3 games of at least 40 points scored, 3-1 mark against Gannon's Eagles. And obviously Gannon's not calling the plays, so that's a little different, but just a ton of respect, I think, both ways between the two former coordinators, now head coaches. So really, really interesting to see that little wrinkle and kind of dive back in and see like, whoa, they put up 51 points in 2021 against Gannon's really good Philly team.
And on that note, I was talking to a Saints reporter today, and he wrote a piece titled, "Can Kellen Moore be the next Sean Payton?"
Whoa.
And was discussing sort of the similarities in their coaching tree and their style and what they pull from in play. And I think that while nobody really knows what to expect from Kellen Moore and expectations are basically, I don't know, in a ditch for the Saints this season, they still have talent specifically on the coaching side.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to still take that into account. I think it's completely different teams than the Dallas squad and the Philly squad. I think, again, like I'm going to give the Cardinals the very much benefit of the doubt with the talent side of things, but it's definitely going to be something from the offense defensive standpoint because Nick Rallis coming from the Jonathan Gannon tree. So what are we going to see there, and how can Kellen Moore maybe compete against that, or what can Rallis do to maybe throw some wrenches into Kellen Moore's plan? That's going to be something I'm going to be looking at. But okay, let's get into some players that absolutely need to get off on the right foot to start 2025. I'm going to give you one right away, and some of these are probably going to be no-brainers, but this one I think is an easy one. Darius Robinson. D-Rob. We've talked about how he's again put together a huge training camp, strong preseason. Got to put it together now. You got to go on the field and you've got to do it. Like he's a sponge. He's learning things left and right off the field, on the field from Calais, Dalvin, all those vets. You got to go put it into motion now. And you've got to start on the right foot because that confidence meter will just go out the building, out of the Superdome if he can do that.
And even to make things a little bit more obvious, I mean, we've already discussed him, Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, the Cardinals, they didn't go out and add that veteran wide receiver. We talked about them maybe adding. Monty Austinfort, incredibly confident in this roster, saying that's not a plan for us. We don't need one. So now let's see how that year 2 wide receiver does. He's the confident wide receiver 1 on this team. The hot buzz topic of this offseason has been his relationship with Kyler Murray, their chemistry. How can they develop it more? I swear we've heard like every single player on the Cardinals talk about them at this rate between them. We heard Mac Wilson talk about them a few weeks ago. It's like, all right, anybody can add their 2 cents into this matter. But looking at, is he maybe becoming a little bit more of that trusty target for Kyler Murray in the way that we've seen Trey McBride become for him? Week 1, are we going to see Kyler really make an effort to try to get the ball to Marvin a little bit more than maybe we saw last season?
Yeah, and I think that's exactly, you said it best, just on, they've got to take that next step, and it's really just, you just got to go out there and do it. I think everyone has talked so much, and this is where I really liked what you said, is everyone's talked so much. People that don't even really need to have a say about what's going on have talked about their connection, talked about how much he's bulked up. Like, you've got to go out there and show it now. Like, if you don't, you've got to be ready to have all of the outside chatter going, oh man, they spent a 4th overall pick on him and they still can't get the connection down. Like, that's going to be something out of week 1 if they can't get on track right away. I mean, that, I feel like that's going to be one of the main storylines we talk about next week when we come in here, or there, wherever we're at, is just about, man, they missed this or they missed that, or they couldn't connect here. They just looked off. Like, they've got to start and put all of this talk into motion.
Exactly.
And then I think another guy that we've got to bring up, and this is just because of his trajectory, Will Johnson.
Yeah.
He's going to get thrown into the flames right away. They like him. He is going to get reps. He's going to get snaps, meaningful snaps. It's not going to be in the game. They're down by 20. They're up by 30 kind of. It's like he's going to be in the game when the plays matter the most. And we got to talk to him today. He is ready to go. You can tell, you can see it in his eyes. Like, he is so amped to not only just know that he's playing in an NFL game that counts, but to get the process of going through the game plan and going through the tape. Like, he talked about it. He's like, this is what I love. Like, so he is very much ready to get after it. But that's the same thing. If he can get out there and snag a pick, break up a couple passes right away, it's only going to improve his confidence. And I think we can all agree, cornerback, you have to have almost a little bit more confidence than you should, just because of what position you play and who you're going up against.
And while my eyes will be on Will Johnson, I'm actually looking at a different guy in that room this week, and that's Max Melton. Because Sean Murphy Bunting was the leader of that room. We heard everybody talk about it. You know he's out for the whole year. They need a new leader. They need a new guy to take over. And Max Melton seems more than happy to take over that leadership role for this Cardinals team. And because of that, I'm now looking for him to take that next step. Week 1, prove that you are the leader, whether that's through your performance on the field or just constant communication. I sometimes feel like we didn't see that from the Cardinals secondary last year. Lots of chit-chatting in the backfield, breaking up, maybe some convos on the sidelines. I'm going to be looking towards that. Just what can Max do in his new role as leader here to keep this secondary room comfortable? They're so young. There's so many new faces. There's so many different guys playing positions that we maybe didn't think that they would. I mean, we've also shouted out Garrett Williams in that same room just for what he's been able to accomplish this year. But is Max sort of the guy who goes, okay, I'm ready to step up to the plate and I'm ready to make a change, whether or not that's him having tip passes, him having interceptions, him having pass breakups? Maybe. But maybe it's just a guy who's communicating and talking through everything and taking these young guys under his wing and showing them exactly what they need to know for week 1 in the NFL.
Yeah, being more that glue guy. And I feel like throughout training camp and into the preseason, just him in the locker room, being able to talk to them, he seems like he's kind of taken on more of that leadership role. It's not so much like, oh, yeah, he's a good player. He's like explaining what Will Johnson does that he likes and how he can help him or other guys on the team. So you can definitely tell he's maybe not trying, but like he's slowly, gradually becoming one of those, more vocal leaders in the room. And I think with Starling Thomas going down, I think he took that upon himself to really start being more of that guy, because Starling was really that leader in there. So was Sean Murphy Bunting. But I think a lot of guys gravitated towards Starling.
And is there anybody else that you want to shout out ahead of this week 1 matchup versus the Saints?
2 more. Isaiah Adams.
Yes.
Got to get off on the right foot, because not only would it do wonders for the offense, run game especially, you got Will Hernandez waiting in the wings. And I don't think it's going to be one of these, hey, we're going to let him go another weekend. And no, it's if there is a little bit of a step backwards from really either Isaiah or Evan Brown, Will Hernandez could come in there and really take that spot and run with it. So obviously, yeah, we've got to see where he is health-wise. He was on the injury report with the limited today. But if things were to go south for Isaiah Adams quickly, Will Hernandez is, I think, very much the guy who's stepping in right away sooner than later to take over and really kind of ease the waters, because especially in the beginning of the season, you have got to win these games, because we've already done the record prediction. After the bye, things turn a little bit dark. You've got to get after it now. So I don't think there's going to be any kind of a leash. I think it's if you're not doing it, we're going to find the guy that does and get him in there, and we're going to keep moving.
It would be interesting to see how short that leash is, considering we know how much the Cardinals like to play the guys that they drafted. They like this young room. They like the development there, specifically from Isaiah Adams and what he was able to do in training camp. But if things aren't shaken out, do you give him 3 weeks? Do you give him 5 weeks? Do you give him no time at all and you're done? And I want to see more from you on the practice field. So that's something not only to keep an eye on, I'd say, week 1 against the Saints, but really this journey through the entire season.
Yeah, I agree. And then rounding it out, I've got one more. Who is it? It is our rookie pass rusher, Jordan Burch. I had to go double check it. But yeah, Jordan Burch, I think he's been a preseason standout. He's been a training camp standout. If he can continue to stack these games and get into the regular season, this pass rushing rotation is going to be one of the best that this team's had in years, because you've got Zaven, you've got Josh, you've got Baron Browning, who Baron Browning, probably one of the more underrated guys on this roster. And then you throw in Jordan Birch as a 4-man rotation and Xavier Thomas rounding up the rear as another guy who stepped up this preseason. Like, if you can get these young guys to keep hitting their marks early to avoid that rookie wall as much as possible, it's going to do wonders for this team, just depth-wise, just the rotation, because we know this team loves to rotate guys in. Yeah, is Josh Sweat going to go off one game and maybe play more than regular? Yeah, probably. That's probably going to be something that happens at some point or another. But at the end of the day, these guys want to rotate guys in, keep people fresh. So you've got to have these depth pieces ready. And Jordan Birch, he might be more than a depth piece if he can keep playing the way he's playing.
And a pass rush from the Cardinals that, to say the least, over the past few years has been disappointing and subpar. So I think that can excite a lot of Cardinals fans in just what they're able to do. And another rookie into this mix. It seems like nobody over the age of 27 is allowed to be mentioned on this podcast right now.
Except for Calais Campbell.
Except for Calais Campbell, team captain again. I believe the sixth time in his career, too, that he's been named a team captain. So we love to see that from Calais.
Yeah, a lot of captains. We got to give them a shout out. Kyler, James Conner, Yelda Froholt, Buda Baker, Calais, Joey Blunt, and Mac Wilson Sr. There we go. Got them all still. That was 7 of them. That was quite a bit. But hey, I mean, all these guys, you've seen it over the years. They've been dudes who have deserved the honor. And I think another guy that I think really should deserve it next year is Paris Johnson.
Yes, and I mean, Jonathan Gannon explained his mindset in naming team captains, 3 guys on the offense, 3 guys on the defense, and a special teams guy in Joey Blunt, somebody who, to be quite frank, we weren't even totally sure was going to make the roster. And now he's a team captain, so that's a lovely uphill climb for Joey Blunt there. So lots of excitement in the team captain room.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But okay, give me your let's get a score prediction, and I think we've covered this thing.
All right, my score prediction week 1 is that the Arizona Cardinals will beat the New Orleans Saints 27-13.
Ooh, wow, we are very close on predictions. I'm going Cardinals win 30-10.
Ooh, all right. All right, I like it. I like that we never talk about our score predictions before we end up doing them, so it's really the most spontaneous moment of the podcast to see what happens between there. But I like it for us. It's exciting. And a week 1 win for the Cardinals, even more exciting. I don't care if I get the score right as long as we're sitting in here on Sunday talking about a Cardinals win.
Exactly.
All right. Well, guys, Sunday is the next time that you're going to see Tyler Drake and I back in this very studio breaking down what is hopefully an Arizona Cardinals win and a well-deserved one over the New Orleans Saints. If you want to know anything more about game start before 10 a.m. on Sunday, you can read everything at arizonasports.com. Be sure to follow Tyler on X as well at TDrake for Sports. You can follow the show at AZ Cards Corner, and you can follow me at Koval_Lauren. Tyler, any parting words for this week 1 podcast?
Football's back. That's all I got. I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
Football's back. Go Cards. Is there anything else that needs to be said? All right. You can catch us back here on Sunday post-game for our week 1 post-game pod. And with that, that wraps this one up, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.